Michael Violet, good morning. And if I don't
Wow.
see you later, good afternoon, good evening, good night.
It's been so long since I've seen you that I hardly remember who you are. Where have we
No,
been?
I had a very difficult first half of August. I had a long I had maybe three trials in the first 2 weeks. Then I took a vacation. I went to I don't know if you remember. I used to go to Basin Harbor in Virgins, Vermont with the family at the end of August.
You went to Vermont?
Virgins, Vermont, south of South Burlington. It's kind of like a dirty dancing resort called Basin Harbor,
Okay.
Lake Champlain. So the kids wanted to go back there. Amy wanted to bring her kids there for the first time. So we took a week off and went there. That was fun. Played pickleball,
Of course.
off, not well, but then I came back. I had a couple of trials, and so this was the first week I was. But nothing's happened. I mean, it's not as if anything's happened.
I'm trying to think of the last podcast we did. Had they pulled the rug of the presidency
Oh
under
yeah, oh
from
yeah. Oh,
underneath
Kamala was.
okay.
It was before the Democratic convention. It was after the Republican convention, but before
Yeah.
the Democrat. But those conventions are just dog and pony shows. So yeah, I thought. I mean, we could talk about Barack Obama's speech, or yeah, but who cares? Bill Clinton's speech. I don't know about that. So but she's the nominee. And he's the nominee, and the debate was something else. now, now I know what you're going to say. Go ahead, say it.
No, I mean, we are a country of 300 million people. Some of the most intellectually gifted people in the world are citizens of the United States. And this is what it comes down to. These two. She
Well,
is
you
more
don't know.
than a pounded thumb, and he is a douchebag.
I see. I don't listen. I don't think she. I think
And
she did a.
she's ambitious and she knows how to get what she wants, but I don't think she's very bright.
I think she look. People say George W. wasn't very bright, and I don't think that's true. I don't think you get success. I mean, yes, you can get a certain success by your parents and by your lineage and stuff, but I mean, she was a lawyer, she was a prosecutor, she was an attorney general.
Right. Everybody's a goddamn lawyer, including you. So that's no
I know,
great.
but you know what? But it's not that easy to get through law school. I can vouch for it, and I'm just saying. But besides that, look. Do I think we could do better? Sure, but I thought Hillary Clinton would be a great president. A lot of people think she'd be the worst president that ever existed. It all comes down to preference and what you like. I think, look, Donald Trump is insane. The man is mentally. And by the way, remember, I said to Joe Biden after that debate, you heard what I said the next day. He's got to go. Got to go. I'm not mincing words about Joe Biden. If Joe Biden was in the race, Donald Trump would be the next president. Okay. Glad he's out. Nice guy, maybe the right guy at the right time, but not a great president. But Donald Trump, I mean, Mike, people are eating dogs and cats in Springfield, Ohio. That's that's what he comes up with when they ask a question about illegal, the illegal alien situation. I mean, look, let me say it another way. Everybody knew that Kamala Harris was going to do two things: act presidential and try and get under Donald Trump's skin.
You get what she
Right?
did.
Donald Trump knew that. It's like you could hear his advisor. Okay, Don, listen to me. The only thing you have to do,
Don't
smile.
fall for it. Don't do it. Don't fall for it.
And
And he
the minute she mentioned his crowd size,
oh, oh my God. That's like going to his dick size.
it's exactly that's the one thing Barack Obama said. That was pretty funny. I gotta say, that was pretty funny. But and then I mean, listen, there's plenty of attacks on Kamala. Tired of the Biden administration, which is fair game. Tired of the immigration issue, which she's supposed to be the czar, and she did virtually nothing. Lots of things you can do. But all she had to do was say, yeah, people at your rally were pretty bored. And,
Trump,
you know,
three things: economy, border, crime, economy, border economy. Don't go anywhere else. Don't allow. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Stick. Very simple. Couldn't do it. Fell for everything. Every possible Donald Trump caricature came, and I didn't watch this because I can't.
Oh,
I can't. It's like Dumb and Dumber on stage debating. I
I know.
can't do it. I won't do it. It's weird. I'm as detached as I can be from the election and the electoral process, yet I still obviously pay attention because you can be detached, I think, now and still pay attention.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe anybody's undecided at this point.
Well,
We all
look, this is what I want to say. That's not to say she's going to get any votes from it. I mean, look, Hillary Clinton was almost universally the winner of the 3 debates she had with Donald Trump. Made no difference whatsoever.
debates. Trump said he's not going to debate her anymore, and he shouldn't.
It wouldn't
Don't
matter. It wouldn't matter if he
I
did.
know nobody. These debates now are at the point where they mean as little as a newspaper endorsement. If the Portland Press Herald comes out tomorrow, and they will, and endorse Kamala Harris, it means absolutely nothing. And just like Taylor Swift
See,
endorsing,
I'm not so sure I agree with you. Let me tell you why. You remember Oprah endorsing Obama. There are people who believe, and not that I believe all the statisticians in the world, that probably got him an extra million votes. Okay, maybe true, may not be true. What Taylor Swift could do is get the youth who will not vote, who will stay home, who are bored, who are not interested. You know, the 400,000 registered to vote. Now, they are going to show up to vote? No. But if they vote, they're going to vote for Kamala Harris. Will that turn the election? The problem Kamala Harris has is you can't win 51-49%. For the Democrat to win, it's got to be 54%. If lucky, maybe 55, 54, maybe if you're really lucky, 53%. Because the Electoral College, as you know, the votes in California, New York, the extra 10 million votes are meaningless because you can get one more vote or 10 million votes and you get the electoral vote. So they're wasted votes. So you got to win 54-46 at best. And that is with the Electoral College. And I would have, if I was a Democrat, I would have tried to get rid of the Electoral College years ago. But they're just, you know, they don't do what they should do when they have the ability to do it. So I'm not saying, I keep saying to Democrats who are giddy, wait a minute. Remember Hillary Clinton? And she was a slam dunk certainty to win that election, and she didn't. And don't think that Kamala Harris is going to walk off with this because right now it is razor thin. And something's going to happen in October. We always have an October surprise. Her election could be tanked overnight like Jim Comey's letter in October did Hillary, and that's the way it goes.
yeah, and they're doing a great job of keeping her under wraps, even though they let her out for the debate and she didn't suck.
Yeah.
That's probably a poor thing for me to say right then and there. She wasn't really that bad, but after the debate, I just pulled it up on my phone. I tweeted out. I sent a post on Facebook. I wrote, imagine a world where Ron DeSantis was the GOP nominee. This thing would be over, and DeSantis would be on his way to a Reagan-like victory over Walter Mondale. Agree or disagree with my post?
I don't think I agree entirely. I think Ron DeSantis has his distractors. He always well, he looks better when he's not the nominee. Okay. The problem is, you never know what comes out. I mean, Ron DeSantis is not as popular in Florida as he was when he got elected, and he had a great victory in Florida. But some of the things he's done have been. I mean, if abortion is the issue, and I'm not saying abortion is as much of an issue as it was in 2022, but don't think for a moment it's not an issue. And Ron DeSantis does not play well, and he's so who knows?
So Ron DeSantis doesn't want to kill babies. Okay.
If it's not a matter of killing babies, it's a matter of women's choice. Okay. And so Ron DeSantis is clearly that's why Donald Trump is having so much trouble with the abortion issue, because Donald Trump is not pro-life. No matter what he says, he's not pro-life. He couldn't even answer the question about a federal law against abortion because he's really not pro-life, and pro-life is not a good presidential say. His answer, which is generally pretty good, which is let the states decide. That's great. If he didn't say everybody in the world wanted Roe v. Wade, everybody in the world did this, and everybody in the world did this, and everybody in the world thinks I'm great. If he just said, listen, states' rights, that's all it is.
Okay, and which I'm fine with, but why can't we come to a national compromise over an abortion policy that says unless there is rape or incest involved, no. Is that such an extreme?
Sure, because what you do, the issue is not pro-abortion; it's pro-choice. It's a woman saying, I can do whatever I want with my body. I don't care if there's something living in it. And I believe life starts at conception. I'm not saying it's not murder, but we had this discussion. I believe in the death penalty. We kill people all the time. We send drones over in Syria and kill children and women on a daily basis. So, a woman can choose to terminate life in her body. That's just the way it is. She has the right to do it. Her body. She can do it.
Okay, so the debate, which I didn't watch, you did. Did you watch the whole thing?
Every minute of it, and the analysis, including Fox News afterwards.
Okay, so you had David Muir from ABC, who's got the just great hair. That man's hair is just utterly spectacular. I mean, he's a better anchorman than Ron Burgundy was an anchorman. The other woman, what's her name, Lindsay, whatever, who apparently is buddies with Kamala Harris. She's one of them set her up with her husband or whatever. So was this 3 against 1, or is that a fallacy?
See, and by the way, I wrote on a piece of paper which I can show you. Mike is going to say it was 3 versus 1 because that's the best defense that Republicans have. Here's the
Yeah,
answer.
and I would agree that if you come out of the debate saying that, it means probably your guy lost.
But here's what I heard a really good Republican commentator on Fox News say this. Was it 3 against 1? Sure. But you know what? You can't complain about the referee if you miss
I
your
know. If you're complaining about the referee after the game, that means score more points, do better, so the referee's hand does not, end up on the scale, so to speak. So I'm totally on board with that.
So when they say to Trump, you didn't answer the question, they could have said the same thing to Kamala. Absolutely, they could have. But Trump made more outlandish statements than Kamala did.
I know.
So,
He's just
the dog and the cat thing. You can't expect the anchor to not say what, what are you talking
yeah.
about?
This is why the whole thing. It's so absurd. It's like a running Saturday Night Live skit that I just can't bring. I'm so disappointed in us that these are the people we've decided that we're going to choose between.
Well, but it's gonna be that way. Look, you can go back. Was Al Gore and George W. the best two candidates? Was John Kerry and George Bush the best two candidates? Was Obama and who did he run against?
Romney and John McCain.
John McCain. Have we ever had the two best candidates run?
No, I mean, in Obama, you had a first-term senator who had, done jack squat. He was, as Joe Biden said, he was clean and articulate.
Yeah, that's true. So, it's all timing, man. I mean, remember, it used to be when we complain about the conventions. I mean, it used to be that the candidate didn't even go to the convention. You never gave acceptance. They went to the convention. They picked the candidate behind the scenes for whatever reason, and that was the candidate. No, Adlai Stevenson didn't show up to the convention. They never did. It's a modern invention.
So here in Maine, in the 2nd congressional district, Jared Golden is running maybe the greatest campaign I've ever seen. He is doing a spectacular job in not just disassociating himself from Pelosi and from Biden. He's also doing a great job of actually tying himself to Trump and conservatism. I don't know who his advisors are and who makes the call. He's going to get 70% of the vote. That's my prediction right here, right now.
The polls don't reflect that. And Terry, look, the weakness of Jared is his change on the gun policy, his change on guns after Lewiston. I don't care if the NRA endorses Turnout or not, but Jared is running a perfect campaign for the second district, but he may lose. He may lose.
Oh, no way. That Ken, that kid is not ready for prime time.
I
He
agree with you.
is
I agree with
novice. He is a juvenile.
you. Yeah.
The Republicans are, between him and is it Demi Kazunis
Demi
running against
Kazunas.
Angus King?
Demi
She,
Kazunas.
she is awful. The Republican Party in the state of Maine is in sorry ass shape.
Well, let me ask you something. Compare you say you think Kamala Harris is not the brightest bulb. Compare it to Demi Kazunas.
Well, Demi's a doctor at least. I mean, she's a dentist.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure how smart you have to be to pull people's teeth, but that's
Well,
okay.
Ken, for Christ's sake,
All
come
right, you
on.
got your medical consult.
Uh,
Have you met Demi?
yes, I have.
I've done political brew with Demi. I like Demi. Actually, she pulled Chelsea's teeth one time when Chelsea needed teeth pulled. She's a very nice woman. I judged Dancing with the Dentist. They had this Dancing with the Dentist,
I know. I did it one year. I
right?
did
And
music
she,
one year.
she was in that. She was
I
in
know.
that.
I remember.
But I don't know. Do you think
And she
Angus?
is a really good story. I mean, she's from the daughter of Greek immigrants, and she went into the service and she served her country. She's just not a good candidate.
So let me
And
ask you a question. Why would Susan Collins uh try and talk Paula Page into campaign? I understand why Paula Page would endorse Demi and campaign from. Why is Susan Collins getting involved in that? I mean, I mean, she has a pretty good relationship with Angus King.
don't get look. I've had a nice relationship with Susan when we did the show, even after the show when I was doing a show alone. She lost me when she voted to confirm Jackson to the Supreme Court. I gave up on Susan Collins.
She
I
lost
dropped
me when she voted to endorse Kavanaugh. So I guess
I dropped her, kicked her out of my life at that point. So I don't care what Susan Collins says or does. If she runs again, I would abstain from voting because
I
I
wonder if
certainly
she'd run again. Do you think she'd run again?
I don't know, but then again, Angus King keeps on running. He's unbeatable. This guy has tenure no matter what office he
Yeah,
has.
admit he looks pretty good for 80. I mean,
He
really.
does. He holds it better than Biden does. He holds it better than Susan Collins does. I agree with you. Angus still looks like a man of energy and enthusiasm.
All right, so as if the election was today, presidential election, understanding the electoral college, we could talk about who'd win the popular vote. I think Kamala wins the popular vote if the election's today. I'm not sure I can pick her
Um,
to win the.
I actually think by today,
Yeah.
as we sit here and do this on Friday the 13th, no less.
Oh God, I
Um,
forgot that.
yeah. I think Trump would win the popular vote and the electoral vote.
Really?
And I think the key state here is Pennsylvania.
See, you got Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Nevada, Arizona, those and Georgia. Um, I think Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin goes with Kamala. I think he's going to have trouble. She's going to have trouble with North Carolina. I think she's going to have trouble in Arizona. I think she's going to have trouble with Nevada and Georgia. I don't know how Georgia ever became a purple state. I don't know how that happened. It's a mystery to me.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll revisit this weekly. So a couple of things I got to ask you about.
Yeah.
Thank you for not putting salt in my Michigan wounds. I didn't expect to look. They lost their team. They lost their coach. I don't know why teams automatically hire their assistant coaches to become the new head coach. I don't get it. I'm not saying he's not a great coach, but who is he? He's not a coach. You could have.
Yeah, but he's a Michigan man. As that's what Bo Schembechler would say. But
So was
I,
Brady Hoke. How did
I,
that work for
I
you?
know, I know. I don't think it would make a difference, honestly.
Oh, I agree. This year.
This is what happens when it's like the Patriots with Belichick, and now Jim Harbaugh wins, leaves. You could see this coming. Many graduates going to the NFL, they lost their whole team, quarterback JJ McCarthy. So the perfect storm for Michigan. This too shall pass. It's going to take
I
some
agree.
time
I agree.
to rebuild. You have Texas going there, and Texas is pretty much
Texas,
loaded.
they got 2 first-round draft picks.
Yeah, so that I wouldn't do that to you
All right,
because it
so then the next question. Patriots. I did not know if you went down the street naked like you said you were going to. I
It's
didn't want
funny.
to imagine that, but
There were many people who showed up on Western Avenue in Augusta on Monday at 9:30 when I said I would do it. I did not do it because for those of you who don't know, I picked the Patriots to. If the Patriots won the game last Sunday against Cincinnati, I said I would run down Western Avenue in Augusta naked, which was an offshoot of what I used to say with you.
or women's
My threat
dresses.
always used to be that I would wear women's clothes. Somebody suggested to me that I start going that route rather than the naked route, and I think they're right.
Oh, come
So
on, dude. Nobody who I mean, nobody would have expected the Patriots to go. Cincinnati starts out slow. They're a slow moving team.
here's
But
the thing, though. The Patriots won in classic Bill Belichick fashion. They
yeah,
played great situational football, including special teams. They committed very few penalties.
yeah,
They ran the ball very, very effectively and made no mistakes. Ball security. How many times we hear Belichick talk about ball security? Pats, zero turnovers. They forced two and they turned them into points. It was a classic Bill Belichick. We
yeah.
were told that the Patriots were going to look like the Freeport JV team. All right. They were going to be horrible. They were going to commit penalties every play. Their coach, they looked anything but that. Now, that said, it's one game. Let's not go crazy. But I will say this without any threat of going naked or wearing women's clothes, they're going to go 2-0. They're going to win Sunday.
Against the Seahawks, really?
24-13. You heard it here. Tell a friend.
Well, they were ranked preseason. Bleacher Report had them 32 out of 32. They were not.
Yep. And I understand that.
I mean, do you think they go 500 for the season?
Of course not. I still think they're a 5-12 team at best. But
That was percent was pretty good. I was
he didn't make mistake. He did. They brought Jacoby Brissett here to do exactly what he did on Sunday, which was to run the team effectively, to lead on the field, make no mistakes, don't turn the ball over, basically don't fuck it up, and he didn't. And he's the perfect bridge quarterback. So that leads to, well, when will we see Drake May? Can they keep Drake May under wraps for the whole year? They'd have to be very disciplined in order to do that. I think at some point they are going to let him have his coming out party. But right now, there's no sense in even talking
why
about.
can't I mean the offensive line was better than it was
Yes,
supposed to be, and you don't want him to get beat up by a game you're going to lose. But Mayo is a pretty good coach. I'm pretty impressed with
he
him.
looked. I'll tell you this: the players love him. Now that doesn't necessarily translate into wins because all the players didn't love Belichick all those years. It's more about respect than love. But they do. I think they respect him too, and therein lies the difference. And they played their asses off for him on Sunday. You could see the effort was there,
Yeah, no doubt
and
about it.
emotion in football can, especially in the NFL, sometimes there's a real lack of emotion and it becomes a job. And when you can create the culture that Mayo seems to have created of almost college like and getting these guys fired up,
Yeah.
this is what can happen. So 2-0 is what I say on Sunday.
So two more quick questions. So Tua, should he quit football?
You got to wait for the CAT scans and the MRIs, but you know what? I think he's made about $75 million of guaranteed money. It's awfully tough at 25 to give up an athletic career like that, but if it's me, I'm quitting. I've made generational money for my family already. As tough as it is, I don't want. Do you want to be a vegetable by the time you're 35 and
I assume he could. I
your
assume he could
brain is open?
coach. I don't know. We're going to talk about Tom Brady in a minute. I don't know if he'd be a good broadcaster. I assume he could coach or do something. It's not as if he couldn't do something else. I would think. I mean, he's got 3 concussions. You know.
The three on the record concussions. I think there's a lot more there. And he's just one of those guys that seems susceptible to it. And the thing about that hit last night, he's talked so much about learning how to take. He led with his head.
Yeah. Why isn't he sliding? I mean, why
I don't
isn't he
know. And
sliding?
how about the irony of him being hit by Damar Hamlin, the guy
Yeah.
who literally died on the field last year?
Yeah. Was that amazing? I mean, not amazing. That was, all
It
right.
was amazing.
Tom Brady
Yeah,
sucked. Just beginning jitters.
it
Does he
was
have?
tough.
Tom has never been a real articulate.
No, I think he's articulate. I think there's a couple of things, and you can identify with this. His voice isn't great. He's got kind of a high, almost squeaky voice. You've made a career out of it.
Out of it.
But I will say this: there is broadcasting and doing a game is not rocket science, and you're not performing brain surgery, but there is a knack to it. There's a flow that you need to learn. I've been broadcasting games for 40 years, and you have a flow that you develop, and you also develop a chemistry with your partner. You and I can relate to that. Kevin Burkhardt is the perfect play-by-play guy for him because it's not about Kevin Burkhardt. He's very understated. And I think Brady's going to be fine. You got to learn how to do this. There's a way to be a broadcaster. And this is on the job training right now for Tom Brady. And it's not as easy as people. All right, he's got a 20-year track record of excellence. He's got 7 Super Bowls. He's incredibly handsome. And it's not, none of that actually matters.
Yes, you're
Because
right.
you need to learn how to broadcast. I think he's going to be fine. But, Fox took a chance here because it's Brady. They pay him an incredible amount of money, and they took Greg Olson out of the number one. And Greg Olson is a fantastic
Yeah.
broadcaster. And so it makes it even worse. But I do think Brady is going to be okay.
And I'm surprised the little I've heard of Belichick, he's pretty good.
Love him. I think this is the greatest development in the last few months is the coming out party of Bill Belichick
He's
from
kind of,
it is what it is. We're on to
yeah,
Cincinnati. The whole Mona Lisa Vita thing with Deflategate. All
yeah.
to Belichick being on the Manning cast, being on the Pat McAfee show, he's on as he calls it Insta Snap now. This is the greatest. He's got a 23-year-old girlfriend, which makes me love him even more. Gives me hope. Gives
Man.
me my dreams may come true.
All right, now let's be honest. Is she with him for love?
Of of Ken, how dare you even doubt that? So what if he's worth, I don't know, Bill Belichick's got to be worth $50 million
Yeah, yeah.
and owns all kinds of property on Cape Cod and Martha's Vineyard.
I'm shocked at. I was hearing him. I'm saying that can't be Bill.
Oh, he's great.
That's got to be
Nobody
something
can break
else.
down film like Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And I loved it last week. He's got some show. It's on some betting platform. He did Matt Patricia, former Patriots defensive coordinator, remember with the beard, the hair,
Oh yeah.
pencil, all clean shaven, on set with Bill Belichick, and they're breaking down the Patriots game.
Oh
I mean,
my
that is
God.
like a sublim. That's just crazy, and
Well,
I love.
just gotta say, I was amazed at Bill Belichick, and I didn't expect Tom to be great out of the gate, and I was a little surprised that I don't know if they gave him any training. He didn't look like
He spent the entire preseason. I think he and Burkhardt did several games together. They did several rehearsal games in the offseason. But again, there's nothing like actually doing a game. I mean, it's funny how many people over the years I've had come and sit in to do a game with me, and after the game, they're like, "Wow, there's a lot to that." And I didn't, And again, we're talking about doing a high school or a college game where the significance of it is far less, and you have far less eyes on you. But whether you're doing a high school game or the Super Bowl, there's some knack and some nuance that goes with it, and Brady's got to learn what that is. I agree. He was worse than I ever thought he was going to be. I thought he'd be better than that, but at the same time, I still think he's got plenty of time to rebound and recover.
I agree. All right, my friend, let's try and do this
Don't
weekly.
be a stranger, huh?
Well, yeah, I'm going to believe it. I'm going to Europe from October 5th to October 15th. I'm
Wow.
going to well, I've always wanted to go to Amsterdam. You're not gonna believe the reason. They have these coffee shops that you can smoke hash and pot. I think being able to go into a store, I know this is going to shock you because you know how my body's a temple and I would never consume any illegal substances, although they're legal there. So I don't think there's anything. But Amsterdam, I've always wanted to go to Amsterdam. And in fact, I booked a tour of the red light district. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And then we're going to Vienna and we're going to Prague. So there you go.
Well, when you're in Amsterdam in the red light district, I'd like you to do either a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live,
Got it.
and bring us into your world where your body is a temple.
I may have to take some pictures and ask your guidance of who you would choose from the window dressing, because it's a choice
Yeah.
I can't make on my own, clearly.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're going to Europe. I'm going to China,
What?
Maine.
And you're going to China Main for what?
South China, actually, where they speak with a drawl.
Yes.
I've got a field hockey game to broadcast there Monday.
Have fun. Let's try and
Hey,
get together. Let's try and do it every week into the election, because I want to
I'm
see.
I'm available, man.
All right, bud. You take care.
See ya.